humanitarian freedom as one of the main qualities of the future human. The question is about humanitarian freedom. There is no information about this quality in these ideology books to the moment, or it will be in the fourth volume. There is an explanation of humanitarian freedom in the fourth volume, but honestly, it's quite difficult to talk about humanitarian freedom right now. Because many people vandalize the state of service, transform it to something ugly as a result of the fact that everyone still has necessity to realize egoistic conceptions. Taking into account all positivity of your conceptions about humanitarian freedom, you still cannot imagine correctly what it is indeed right now. You can imagine certain democratic sides of our existence or something else, but the conception of humanitarian freedom is absolutely indifferent to politics, absolutely asocial. It's not related at all to nation, to propriety or impropriety of something. This state can appear only when you are on the third or fourth level of Eigla Arlactor. That is, former creators of these levels should be the most active in your self-consciousness. That means that there are no behavioral reactions on Argla-Muni and Ingli-Melisa centers, and these conceptions, based on these reactions, are gone into your consolidated experience. Nothing is left already. There is a conception of how everything should be beautiful and harmonious, only regardless of some of your personal conceptions, and naturally of the smallest features of egoism. That is the state called the state of humanitarian freedom. I should outline and define it now, but it would be totally obscure for you. And in the same way, even intellect and altruism, being the most basic features of low-mystical development directions, are not clear in general. Even in this respect, it is difficult to talk now, because in your conceptions, the features of wit, deliberativeness, some egoistic interest are put over the intellect term. The same concerns the conceptions of altruism. When you do something good, maybe in a burst of joy, certain ambitious expectations joins with it. Whether someone noticed how good you and your doing are. And other conceptions intervene at the same time, based on Argla-Muni center. I am able to do it this way, but for others it is simply impossible. And then there is no altruism at all, because that is not altruism. It just vanishes. The momentary altruistic impulse, based on some unconditional love, unconditional insight into something beyond expression, is absorbed by former creators of the lower levels for the sake of their own realization. It is instantly dragged between Argla-Muni and Ingli-Melisa resapazons. And that's all. In several minutes, or possibly later, a person starts to think, have I made a right decision? Why nobody talks about my good deed? So this was a bad decision. It was nothing for me. For me. It gave nothing for me. As soon as such doubts appear, there is no sense to talk about altruism with the capital A, which is the future of Lumichesky, real human manifestation. The same happens with intellect. Intellect is subconscious state, which is basically intrinsic to our thought, to our conceptions, but unable to expose itself because of every possible mental manipulation on selfish levels of our self-consciousness. I try to write books not on the weed or by the weed, how to say correctly. Virtually, there is no my personal interest in writing ideology at all. It is urgent to reach the highest level of intellectuality in the contents of every paragraph. The reader will absorb the paragraph, scrutinize it, that it's so important that the slightest personal piece of interest should not tint in the paragraph thought, on its sense, on the sense of what I try to convey. In other words, it is very important for me not to share with readers with quite higher projections, which are of ambitious and selfish type. Therefore, I try to deliver everything in the Ideology Fundamentals books based on their appearance in the remote future. And that our auspicious future, nothing valuable today has any value, neither ambition nor any kind of personal interest. Because truly, my personal interest is directed on the spreading of the knowledge. As many as possible people should adopt it as deeply as possible, what should allow them to build their lives the way they do it in that future. To the moment, all these notions are very difficult, and I have explained why. Because there are too many unworked over, undersynthesized things which we consider as not bad, essential to us, which comprise the interest of our existence. So it's impossible for us to drop them. These things just press on us, and that's all. We can't do anything. Or rather, we can do, not giving them possibility to realize in the moments vital for them. Because just as you open the protoformic interest, that much worse, lower qualitative different conceptions join in, every means of egoistic interests. And that's it. The person doesn't understand how he or she, thinking before so highly and beautifully, in several minutes had managed to fall down into such unpleasant state. Thank you. It is very important for us to understand here what we should strive for. When I know this, I feel myself much easier in those states of mind, because we have motivations, who we can be, how we can change. Yes, I should say that much more attention is paid to these ideas in the fourth volume of Ideology Fundamentals, rather than in the other volumes.